Who is the most important person that you know? Well, as dedicated witnesses of Jehovah, I'm sure you would say Jehovah. Well, who is the second most important person that you know? I asked my wife that once, and she said, you. And then she said, I'm just joking. No, it's Jesus Christ, and we all know that. But now, how important is it for us to know not just Jehovah, but also his Son? Well, let's look at something in the Bible. Open your Bibles, if you please, to John chapter 17, verse 3. One of the most familiar scriptures that we learn when we come into the truth. John 17:3. This means everlasting life. They're coming to know you, the only true God, and the one whom you sent, Jesus Christ. Now let's think about it. It means our salvation, doesn't it? To come to know Jehovah God and his Son, Jesus. Come to know them. It means everlasting life. Our salvation rests on our knowledge of Jehovah God and his Son, Jesus. It means our life. But coming to know, what does this mean? Could it be what the study note on this verse says? The verb is used in the present tense to express continuous action. Absolutely, that's the correct answer. So coming to know Jehovah or someone else is an ongoing process. We have to become acquainted with that person. Now, if I should ask you, how many of you know me? Raise your hands, please. Get them down, because you don't really know me. Oh, in a sense, you were right in raising your hand. You know who I am. You know the position I have. You've got my name. You heard me give some talks and so forth. So you have some knowledge of me, but there's so many things about me that you don't know. And if you did know these things, it wouldn't help you. But now coming to know Jehovah is altogether different. Coming to know Jesus is altogether different. The more we know about them, why then the better we have of a relationship with them. And we're going to benefit from that knowledge in ever so many ways. So we want to come to know Jehovah. No matter how long we've been in the truth, and some of you have been there for decades, we must keep working at coming to know Jehovah God and his Son, Jesus. But the question is, how can we come to know Jehovah better and better? Well, we can learn much through creation. We look around us, and it draws us ever closer to Jehovah. When we see the animal creation, as we have earlier today, the zebra and the various birds and other animals, we think of Jehovah and his great wisdom and the blessings that he has showered upon us as a result of the creation around us. And how many of us enjoy going to the beautiful parks at a certain time of year and enjoying all the creation, the greenery, the flowers, the trees? My, there's just no end to it. And whenever we see the fish that we've never seen before, and there's so many fish that are so new to us, their beauty, it all speaks of Jehovah as the creator, does it not? And we marvel at these wonderful things. But here's another way that we benefit. It's through his word. It's through the Bible that we're able to know the name of our God, Jehovah. We're able to appreciate what that name stands for. And we're drawn ever closer to him as a result of that knowledge. We're able to have the knowledge of his purpose. We know that he's not responsible for all the wickedness that goes on in the earth around us. That's not of his making, but yet people in the world feel that it is. If someone dies, they blame God. Why did he take that beautiful little girl? She's only 2 years old. Why did he do a thing like that? Well, they have no knowledge. But you have knowledge. When a person dies that they love people in the world, they have no idea about the resurrection. They feel that two things can happen. Many of them feel this way, not all, but two things can happen. Either they go to heaven and become a flower in his garden up there in some kind of a way, or else they go somewhere else where they are tormented day and night forever and ever. Now, what about God's Son? How can we come to know him better and better? Well, let's watch the following video. How can we come to know the Son of God better and better? 7 minutes. He was neither rich nor powerful from the world's point of view. He did not even have a home that he could call his own, yet his teachings have changed the course of history. They have helped millions to gain something more important than material wealth. The man, Jesus Christ, the Son of God. Jehovah wants us to know his Son, to love his Son, to be like his Son. To help us know his Son, Jehovah lovingly reserved a portion of his word, the 4 Gospels, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, and the book of Acts. These Bible books have helped true Christians to find the happiest, most meaningful life possible. The Gospels portray a man of tender and deep feelings. They show the wide range of Jesus' personality: compassion for a leper, indignation at self-righteous religious leaders, deep sadness over the nation that rejected him. In the Gospels, we learn of the many miracles Jesus performed, from healing the sick to raising the dead. Those miracles changed people's lives, yet Jesus was not known as healer or a miracle worker. Instead, he was called the teacher. And what a teacher he was. Think of the wise sayings of Jesus that have become part of everyday speech thousands of years after he uttered them. The Gospels give a fourfold historical account of the life and ministry of Jesus. Matthew, an apostle, evidently wrote his gospel for the Jews. Over 40% of its content is unique. Matthew gives us a far more extensive account of the Sermon on the Mount. In this profound sermon, Jesus does not just tell us the course of wisdom, he does much more. He shows us by explaining, reasoning, and offering proof. How we marvel at the simplicity, clarity, and unparalleled wisdom in the teachings of Jesus. Mark's vigorous, fast-moving account was seemingly written for non-Jewish readers. It mentions 19 miracles of Jesus, including the only account of the deaf man whose hearing Jesus restored. Considerately, Jesus takes the man away from the crowd and heals him in a private place. How reassuring to learn that Jesus uses his power in such a considerate and thoughtful way. Luke, the beloved physician, wrote for both Jews and non-Jews. Some 60% of this gospel is unique, including the account of the resurrection of the only child of the widow of Nain. Jesus is moved with pity for this widow. After resurrecting her son, Jesus gives him to his mother. Death has torn the family apart, but Jesus makes them a family again. How beautifully this account reveals a very tender side of the Son of God. John, the apostle who was especially close to Jesus wrote his gospel last. Some 90% contains information not found in the other 3 gospels. Only John mentions the resurrection of Lazarus. In this touching account, Jesus openly sheds tears. How comforting it is to know that Jesus has such deep empathy. Together, the 4 Gospels paint a detailed portrait of Jesus. The Bible book of Acts also helps us to come to know Jesus. Written by the physician Luke, Acts is a continuation of the Gospel of Luke. In the opening chapter, we learn of Jesus' final words to his disciples before ascending to heaven. The resurrected Jesus leaves no doubt as to what he expects his disciples, including us, to do. They are to be witnesses of him to the most distant part of the earth. The Bible book of Acts helps us to understand what being a follower of Jesus is all about. How can we benefit fully from the 4 Gospels and the book of Acts? We must do more than just read them. We must slow down and take the time to study them carefully and meditate on them deeply. We need to bring the accounts to life by doing research, observing details, comparing parallel accounts, and using our imagination to see, hear, and feel the action. Over the years, our organization has published a number of books designed to help us to dig deep. At the annual meeting in 2015, the governing body announced that a new online study Bible would be released. How can the study Bible help us come to know Jesus better? Within the 4 Gospels alone, there are about 2,300 study notes. Added to that, the image gallery, maps, and introduction videos bring the Bible accounts to life. No question about it, our organization has given us the help we need to dig deeper into the Gospels and the book of Acts and to reflect appreciatively on them. As a result, we come to know the Son of God better and better. We agree with the sentiment of the Apostle Peter, who said of Jesus, "Though you never saw him, you love him." Have you benefited from using the online study Bible? I'm sure you will agree that it is a great tool to help us come to know God's Son better and better. But what if accessing the information online is not easy for you as an individual? Well, let's face it, not everyone has easy access to the internet or finds it easy to navigate online. Well, the governing body is pleased to announce the release of a printed version of the Study Bible containing the 5 Bible books we just discussed in the video, Matthew through Acts. Why are we releasing a printed version of the Study Bible? Well, many prefer a printed medium such as a book, especially for doing deeper reading and making notes. It's easier to slow down and absorb the information at hand. And many of us find it easier when we use a printed and bound book for our study periods. Have you ever gone back and found something you read in a book because you recall that it was either at the top or the bottom of a page, or on the left or on the right-hand side of a 2-page spread? Would you like to see what this new publication looks like? Well, let's watch the next video. What are some of the features of the printed study Bible that make it an effective tool for studying the four Gospels and the book of Acts? Let's see. Each Bible book has an introduction with noteworthy facts, study notes about the title, and an overview of the book. Subheadings within the sacred text help you to locate specific accounts more easily. Wide margins offer ample space for note-taking. Study notes are found below the scriptures. The image gallery contains 153 illustrations and photographs for the books of Matthew through Acts. The map gallery helps you to combine specific events with locations. The glossary gives definitions of biblical and non-biblical words that are used in the main text or in the study notes. Would you like to read the entire Bible in 1 year? Then use the Bible reading schedule to keep track of your progress. This study Bible is designed to help you study more deeply and bring Bible accounts to life. Take, for instance, the account of the widow in the temple.
Verse 41 says that Jesus sat down with the treasury chests in view. What does the study note say about treasury chests? That's interesting. According to rabbinical sources, there were 13 treasury chests for collecting the contributions of those entering the temple. And these chests were apparently located in the area called the Court of the Women. I wonder where that was in the temple. The study note directs us to Appendix B11. Wow, look at those 4 giant golden lampstands. The facades surrounding the front doors may have been plated with gold. Impressive. The light from the rising sun would have been reflected with dazzling brilliance. Let me go back to the account. Verse 42 says, "Now a poor widow came and dropped in 2 small coins of very little value." What does the parallel account say? Luke's account calls her a needy widow. The study note says, "Needy" may denote a person who lacks the basic necessities of life, or someone for whom life is a great struggle. Might the widow have felt that her small gift was too insignificant to matter? I felt that way before. Jesus showed the widow and her contribution were valuable to Jehovah. This poor widow put in more than all the others. She put in everything she had. She gave her best. When I give Jehovah my best, no matter how much it is precious to Him.
Clearly, the Study Bible is designed to help us study the Bible more deeply. May this printed edition of Matthew through Acts help you to come to know Jesus Christ, the Son of God, better and better. Remember that Jehovah set aside a significant portion of His Word for us to become acquainted with His Son, Jesus, our ransomer, our leader, and of course, our King. Jehovah wants us to know His Son. He wants us to love His Son and to put faith in His Son. So by all means, let's each and every one of us use this new Bible to make progress in coming to know the Son of God. And as you do, you will also be coming to know better the one whom Jesus perfectly imitated, our loving Heavenly Father, Jehovah.